Right, hello everyone, welcome back to another walkthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition, my second attempt with the Dragon Age Keep decisions in. If you have not seen the previous videos that are with us, recommend you watch them before watching this one. Link below will be once I figure out how to record games on the PS3, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and obviously Dragon Age Inquisition, my first walkthrough of Dragon Age, my first ever play of Dragon Age with no knowledge whatsoever until like a few videos in. And obviously as well, Dragon Age the Veilguard, and hopefully a remake, reboot of Dragon Age the Veilguard. Better, more better, everything else. I don't want to go into details of that. I just want to say, like, more better. And I hope it happens. With everything bad going on with Bioware and everything, I just hope the game gets a reboot. I just hope it does. Other games created by Bioware will also be linked below, such as the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect Andromeda, and the new next Mass Effect game coming out. But because I said BioWare is in deep waters, the game is in trouble, I just hope everything works out with BioWare. The game comes out and does not become a failure like the Veilguard. And hopefully, if the next Mass Effect game succeeds, hopefully it inspires them to completely reboot and redo the Veilguard. Hopefully. And similar games to how Dragon Age will be played out will also be linked below, and I'm talking about like the fantasy world, mythology world of Dragon Age will be linked below. Not gonna go to the specific details on this game, it's gonna say similar fantasy world, mythological like games will be linked below. Alrighty, so picking up where we left off. Technically, we have gone through the Emprise du Lion place. Bit of a struggle, really. And obviously, we got the 3 dragons ready. The castle that we need to storm, we can't do it because there's going to be a lot of trolls. They're going to be pretty high level up, along with the Red Templars there, so we're gonna have to leave that for another time. And I'm thinking, current question, yeah, that we'll go next to maybe the Emerald Graves and then the Exalted Plains, Emerald Graves, yeah. We'll go to the, wait, we already went there, yeah. We already went to the Emerald Graves, we went to the Empress de Leon, and now we'll go to the Exalted Plains. And then, once we do that, we go on ahead and do Here Lies the Abyss, which is the missions with the Wardens and Hawk. But obviously, as well, there's also like the personal side stuff that we can do. And if memory serves, like, once we do certain side stuff and interact with people, especially with the main mission, we'll pick up some more stuff, and there's gotta be a lot. So, obviously, we're gonna do a lot of interactions, but mostly, the reason why I'm doing this is because, like, Skyhold needs to get the renovations underway. So, it's one of the main reasons why I want to do these travelings now and get them out of the way. Anyway, let's continue on with the game.
Inquisitor.
Can you arrange what we discussed earlier, Ambassador?
I found the money. The Inquisition will compensate the families of those we lost at Haven.
Thank you. To work?
At your service.
Inquisitor, welcome to the Exalted Plains, a place with a long and bloody history. Even now, the region is volatile. This was a front in the Civil War. Now there's rebels called the Freemen of the Dales, recently emerged and adding to the chaos.
This rebel group, tell me more about them.
They seem to be simple deserters, tired of fighting and dying for either the Empress or the Grand Duke. Now they want the Dales for their own. Worse, they're more organized than we anticipated. Be wary.
What else can you tell me?
Scouts have sighted Dalish elves. There must be a clan camped somewhere on the plains.
This is where the elves made their last stand, isn't it?
Ah, you've studied the Dales. Yes. When offered a chance to lay down their arms and surrender, they refused.
That will be all. Thank you.
With the rifts and the undead, the Orlesians have lost ground. Most have been driven back to their forts. We have to stabilize the region, allowing the Imperial Army to re-establish its presence. Good luck, Your Worship. You'll need it.
Inquisitor, I've something for you.
What is it?
Could prove useful, sir.
keep off the ramparts. I wonder why.
I'd say it's a perfect reason to go to the ramparts.
Stop these things.
What's happened here?
We were trying to retake the ramparts from the dead. They rise here, somewhere within these trenches. It started when those freemen showed up. Strange lights, like blue fire. It must be magic. But the freemen are just deserters from the armies. How could they have managed this? And why?
Are you Imperial Army?
Yes, Your Worship. I fight on the side of Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon, rightful Emperor of Olay.
The peace talks in Halam Sharal mean an end to hostilities, don't they?
We're no longer fighting each other, but demons. The dead. It was easier when we fought just men. You can win against men.
I should be going.
Inquisitor. There are so many. This was intentional.
There may be more of these pits. We'll have to find them.
bastards, causing trouble for you. World's a mess.
It's true. Hope those dead
They did it.
don't come back.
I can't believe they retook the ramparts. Maybe if we got word to the Marshal. But Fort Reverson surrounded by undead and locked down.
What's happened here?
It started when those freemen showed up. Strange lights, like blue fire. It must be magic. But the freemen are just deserters from the armies. How could they have managed this? And why?
I should be going. water. Nothing to report, sir.
back to sleep.
Veilfire.
This is part of a larger set.
Reminds me of Nevara. We should not disturb the dead. Who knows what could happen?
Have you ever had any interest in learning magic, Sarah?
get off?
While it has not manifested naturally, there are ways to determine whether arcane gifts lie dormant within you.
What? Don't make me think about that. I have to sleep at night.
Sleeping would give you the chance to explore the Fade. I could introduce you to spirits.
Right, you're messing with me on purpose.
Why would I do that? It is not as though I know who filled my bedroll with lizards.
Fair point. That was pretty good.
Solas, have you always lived alone? Out in the wilderness as an apostate?
For the most part.
Would that not be incredibly trying?
People can be trying. Mankind most of all.
That is an excellent point. The Dalish are here. To be expected.
And Iran and Tishan, my sister. Harold, your return.
What troubles you, Haran?
Where do I start, Delenn? The armies cause rock slides. They dig ditches that trip the Hala and destroy the Arabals, making passage impossible. Precisely when the clan needs him most, my first, Tavin, defies my wishes and mounts an excursion to the Emerald Graves. And now, I've learned that the grounds of Bar Balanaris are infested by angry spirits from the beyond.
I've already cleared your sacred burial site of demons.
Yes, but our hunters watched you from afar, and they know you defiled our graves, and that you stole a relic, and with it broke open the vault at Unadin from one of the people. I'm disappointed. The demons are gone, and we should be thankful. A small token of our gratitude then. Dareth Shirao, Delenn.
Stalin asked Valerie, where are you?
Who's Valerin?
My brother. He's been sullen for a while because the Keeper chose another as his apprentice. He thinks it's a slight, but it isn't. He just wasn't ready. Keeper Howen wants him to wait. Then he took off 3 nights ago on his own. I don't know what he was thinking. The Keeper sent hunters to search, but they never found a trace. Mathal's mercy. If anything's happened.
Andarana Tisham.
You were the craftsman here?
Yes, darling. Ironbark, leather and such, as I'm sure you know. I'm afraid I cannot trade with you. You are one of the people, but we do not know or trust your Inquisition. In time, perhaps.
You were the one they called the Herald of Andraste. For all the world's a venerated Dalish elf. That's never happened before, has it? All the clans are talking about you, or so Keeper Howen says.
Talk. What do they say exactly?
Good things, I think. A few hope this is a sign of change for our people. Real change. If it's true, I want to be a part of it.
You want to join the Inquisition?
It won't happen. Keeper Howen won't allow it. He doesn't trust anything to do with the Chantry or Andraste.
I could try to convince your keeper.
You could try.
I'll take my leave.
Elkanan, the stores are so low.
You seem troubled.
It's nothing. Just our stores. With the Shem War and the demons, replenishing them has been difficult. For one, we're almost out of herbs, and we lack materials to repair the Aravals. I don't even remember. There's so much we're missing. It's all written in my ledger. You've brought supplies. If you could store them in that chest, I would be grateful. Greetings to you.
this rate, we'll never be on our way. Welcome again, friend.
Anethara, sister. May I ask, traveling these plains, have you come across a golden Hal? I fear human soldiers may kill her. If she would only draw close, I could gain her trust. I could protect her.
Hanal Gilan. I've heard stories of such a creature.
Yes. Some of us believe she comes to the people in times of great need.
Why do you think soldiers hunt your Hala?
Pelts and horns sell for gold in Shem markets, I hear. And if they were gold. Dareth Shirah. Already she makes herself known to the others. She knows she's meant to be here. Thank you, Lethala. I will never be able to express my gratitude.
It is always a pleasure to greet one of our own.
Sarah, I noticed one of my books is missing.
Ask that thing. It touches everything.
Cole didn't take it.
Right, which one?
The one with all the illustrations.
Oh, that one was full on. Threw it under your bed.
You don't know how to ask permission first?
Fine. Please can I not find more of your mucky little books? Drawings, ew.
That looks like all of them. I'll see what the researchers of Skyhold make of this.
Actually is.
A darkspawn, as he appears?
But what of the orb he wields and the dragon he commands? This is no ordinary darkspawn.
His true advantage is the red lyrium. It is corrupted by the blight as he is. Thus he taps into its power twofold. Whatever he was before, that is what makes him dangerous now.
I may share something else with you. There are strange glyphs inscribed in the stones of this place, revealed only with field fire, although they are elven in origin. I cannot make out their purpose. Perhaps they will mean something to you. Dareth Shiral Belen.
Nothing to report, sir.
what was there. Because that's blood and magic, and that's not good.
Was he trying to summon a demon?
3 eggs, a canary, and a soggy biscuit.
Are we to know what that means?
That joke I was telling you where I couldn't remember the end bit? So the man says, 3 eggs, a canary, and a soggy biscuit. Not bad, right?
If somewhat blasphemous.
It's funny. Please, if you see my brother out there, tell him to return to camp.
I'm sorry, but I found your brother.
What? What do you mean, sorry? Where is he? No, he's not.
I have his belongings.
Is this all that's left? Did you learn nothing else?
Your brother was tangled in forces he couldn't understand. Blood magic, demons. He brought this on himself.
Demons? Is that what he used to get to the talisman? But the Keeper always told him. He knew it was bad. He knew it left him open to spirits. How could he do this? I'm sorry. I would like to be left alone.
I found this talisman. I think your brother was looking for it. You should have it.
Linda Rani's talisman. It exists? Her sword, Evanura, was taken by Shems. But in the story, her talisman was saved and hidden. This will mean so much to our people. Thank you. I hear Vashel was good pay for you, Inquisitor. Time to go see if my friends came through too. Got a location for a stash. Hopefully something nice for my trouble. Well, your troubles. Just let me know when you're ready to head out. Be sure to bring your empty pockets.
Who's putting up the reward for this?
Don't know. Sometimes it's pass the hat. Sometimes it's I lifted this from Master's vault. Doesn't matter, does it? Job done. Time to get what we're owed.
I'm ready if you are.
Always, yeah. My favorite part, this. Let's go see what friends can get us. Wait, this is weird.
What?
I was expecting a village or something. The people that leave me stuff don't trek out to places like this. Give me a city and I'll give you a tour, but surprise, surprise, I don't know stupid woods or ruins. What's that?
Don't hurt me. Harmond made me do it.
What's your name and why are you here?
He made me come. Said I had to lead him to her because I said things. It was just bar talk.
This was supposed to be a simple drop. What's going on?
You're her. You're the one he's waiting for. It's her. She's here. Red Jenny.
Hold on. I was not aware the Inquisitor was personally involved. This is a tragic misunderstanding. Let's all sheathe our swords, you walk out, and we'll conduct this like business.
Don't believe this pissbag. He started it.
There. That wasn't so hard, was it? We identified the confusion, and we worked past it. I'm Lord Pelharmond. I do hope, Inquisitor, that you continue to respond to reason. After all, your choice of company is hardly virtuous.
Freaking user you are. Another noble prick who punches down.
We're the same, you and I. Well, that is overstating it. You are nothing like me. But we both need people.
You want to talk now, but Sarah's my ally. You attacked her friends.
Come now. You know how much her meddling cost me? Because apparently you were complicit. Honestly, previous to this very moment, I thought you'd also been tricked by these Red Jennies. Despite your foreign nature, as Inquisitor, you are a social peer. I attacked them on behalf of us both.
Arse biscuit.
Quiet. Inquisitor, Herald, I don't want to be your enemy. I'm barely invested in being hers. If you are willing to recognize an opportunity, we could be exceptional partners.
The servants you killed, they did nothing except talk about what was going on.
You killed my contacts. My friends.
That is entirely true.
Well, that should be that then.
You're the one who empowered them, made their complaints a threat. Perhaps you should have warned them about talking to you.
Stop talking to him. Really, just stop it.
You were up to something in Vishel, Harmond. What was it?
If you mean bettering my wealth and position, I'm always seeking that.
By getting people hurt?
Lady Shell Morveau and I were jockeying for the land south of Vershel. To claim land, you must populate it. My people encouraged hers to leave. Her people answered in kind, etc. Really, it was all terribly standard displacement until your troops seemed to change the balance. Well played.
Tell the snot splash no already. Not saying again.
Now what was the point of that?
Mother puss bucket, friggin' bastard, shitebag, piss face. Eat it, you lop-eared son of an arsenal, rotten
Sarah!
piece of...
Sarah!
What?
I think you're done. At this point, you're making wine.
Ugh, that makes it worse. Friends, Inquisitor. Better than his lot any day. Hey, you. Know what? Thanks. Felt good to stomp the smile off that pisshead's face. It doesn't go bad like that often, yeah? But when it does, they deserve it.
Risky, but keep it within the Inquisition and I'll support you.
Even though there's puckered around us?
Even so.
Well, good then. Right, what do you mean? Because I am really not used to that acceptance thing you're doing right there.
We'll have some differences, but I want to be one of your friends.
You're pretty big to be one of my contacts. Important, I mean, not fat. But all right, Inquisitor. You're on my good side. We'll see if it lasts.
He was dead the whole time. He didn't know.
I've heard about some oddities here in the keep. Was that you?
Yes. Maybe. What was it?
Someone is leaving peeled plums on the windowsill. It's attracting flies.
Spiders need to eat.
And healers need something to treat infected wounds. Like spiderwebs.
The plums are already dead. They don't mind helping.
Can I assume you're responsible for the turnips that have shown up in the fireplaces?
They don't smell the same raw.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
The servants are having trouble remembering some odd events. Someone found a barrel full of misplaced daggers. Was that you?
They were safer there.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know?
Greetings.
I'd like to know more about you, Solus.
Why?
You're an apostate, yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
Not the wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solus. I just wanted to know more about you.
I am sorry. With so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If Corypheus destroyed the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
Ah.
Inquisitor, that is why I joined, not why I stayed.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train your will to control magic and withstand possession. Your indomitable focus is an enjoyable side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
You said you traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins, and you may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers, the best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
Any place in particular?
I dreamt at Ostagar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, and Logain's infamous betrayal of Kaelin's forces.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Kaelin fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
And you can't tell which is real?
It is the Fade. They are all real.
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
You're saying that you became friends with Pride and Desire demons?
They were not demons for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt. And if your mind is free of corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
I'm impressed that you could become friends with spirits.
Anyone who can dream has the potential. Few ever try. My friends comforted me in grief and shared my joy. Yet, because they exist without form, as we understand it, the Chantry declares that spirits are not truly people. Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
I hadn't thought about it that way, but I see your point.
Thank you. Few are willing to entertain such a notion.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Nothing to report, sir.
Your Inquisition grows.
It was never my Inquisition, Solas.
You did the brutal, thankless work of putting the wheels in motion. Do you feel no regret at letting that power pass to another?
I did my part, but the power you describe was never mine to carry. I know myself, and I cannot be the leader we need. Thus, I have no regrets.
You surprise me again, Seeker.
Your opinion of me must be very low for me to surprise you so often.
Not low, but realistic. Very few, however honorable, release power they have won.
that you? Oh, merde.
What happened here?
We were on patrol, 5 of us, looking for supplies. Overwhelmed by undead, I ran, Please take this to Commander Jehan. The Citadel in the north. Tell her.
getting things organized.
I hate waiting to die.
I heard about your organization, Sarah. I am impressed.
Is this a trick?
Hardly. But it is an opportunity. You have already divided your group's membership. That is wise. No one cell can betray all your secrets. The next step is to establish a rhythm. When your enemies pursue, you vanish. When they become complacent, you harass them. When they are weak, strike in earnest.
Where'd you get all this then?
Do you wish to be unnerved by another tale of my explorations of the Fade? Or do you wish to learn something?
I don't know. Neither?
Let's look around.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to make an emergency stop here because I actually need to get going soon. So we're gonna have to stop here. We're gonna have to go back to we're gonna have to make a part 2 of the Exalted Plains in 2 days. And as always, leave a like and comment.